Hello class, good afternoon. Let us continue the class straight away. The next topic, that is human-made resource. In the previous class we have discussed up to human resource, that is page number 11. What is the difference between human resource and human-made resource? Let's see, right? Look into your text as I go through. Besides human resources, there are resources made or created by human being. I repeat, beside human resources, those resources, there are also some other resources which are made or created by human being. They play a vital role in the utilization and development of natural resources. Such resources include technical expertise, government structures, political and economic institutions, as well as the social and cultural setup. Now, the see simple term. I hope you got to know the difference right from the very first sentence. That is, human resources we have seen, which comprises, which constitute. I mean, in simple language, human resources means human being. That's all. Next, human-made resources, resources which are made by a human being. Okay, and with the help of various techniques, with the help of their knowledge, with the help of their skill, with the help of the structure, the setup, the society, the culture, right? That's called human made resource. So in simple term, human made resources are the resource that humans create out of natural resource. Okay, and what is human resource is the most important, as you know, human has got the required skill, the knowledge to utilize the resources. Without human, the other resources would have been of no use, because who will make use of it, and how to convert those natural resources into such a state which can be used by us. We cannot directly use uh, raw natural resources for our own purpose, for to satisfy our needs. No, it has to go through a process, like it's given in page number 12, left hand side on top, the next sentence. How do humans extract minerals or create equipment to use resources? See the answer. Even the answer is mentioned out here. It is technology that helps them to do so. It is worthwhile to remember that technology is also a human made resource. See? Now, for example, today, there are so many examples, like your vehicles, your cars, or say, for example, the water, the simplest example, the water that we drink. Right? How do we get that water? We get that water, fine, it's a natural resources, we get it from the earth, but it has to be extracted. Maybe you have got different kind of setup at home, maybe well, hand pump, or what do you call this, what is that, water machines, water pump, yeah, water pumps and all. So now water pumps, you talk about water pumps, you talk about hand pumps, you talk about this tube oil, which is called tube oil, hand pump, you talk about well. Okay, now these are all which are made by human being. It's not that these things came up by itself naturally. No, in because of this we are able to get the water. Next para, page number 12. Human conduct research to improve the quality of crops and goods they produce. Newer techniques are being developed at a fast pace that use less time and fewer resources without affecting the quality of goods. This is important for the conservation of resources for the future. Yeah, like um, the human beings, they do various type of what do you call experiment research. Okay, they do various type of research experiment so that they can improve the quality of crops, they can improve the quality of goods that they have. Why to improve the quality of crops, the quality of goods that they have? So that it also has a reason. Okay, first of all, why does human being do research, why does human being do experiment? The answer is to improve the quality of crops, to improve the quality of goods they produce. Next, why does human being, are they are always, or they want to improve the quality of crops, they want to improve the quality of food? Why is that so? It's because for the conservation of resources for the future, so that if we can have a good quality resource right now at the present moment, so what will happen is that we won't need it much, because a little would suffice our need. All right, like if I give you the example, yeah, vehicles. Yes, you talk about any vehicle, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, whatever. The vehicles which were introduced then, during those days, I mean 100, 200 years ago, or maybe 50, say even 50, 100 years ago. Say for example, as why am I giving this example? Because I ride scooty, very often. You might have come across, you might have seen me in the school as well. So earlier, this scooty, this two-wheeler, this wasn't there. That was called scooter. I don't know whether you guys have seen or not. Which used to consume lots of fuel. This is just one of the straight example, live example. You can say that, so that you can relate it, you can connect it. So this, what do you call? scooters, yeah, which used to, it is available even today also, nowadays also, but it consumes more fuel as compared to the present vehicle that we have, whether you talk about the motorcycles, whether you talk about the scooters, I mean scooties that we have today. If you see the fuel consumption, it's, if you compare them, the earlier consumption and the present consumption, there's a very big difference. Why? Because fuel is something limited, a resource, okay, so we have to save it for our future need. So this is one of the example. Next, conservation of resource. Conservation. What do you mean by resources? As I've already explained you. Conservation. What do you mean by conservation? Mm, save. Okay, to save resource, to protect our resources. How? How to save them? Why do we need to save them? Let's see. Yeah, the very first question. Why is conservation such an important issue today? The number of people on Earth is increasing every day, and the pressure of their demand on resources is also mounting, whereas natural resources are limited. Yeah, before I proceed further, suddenly something struck me, okay? So I stopped for a moment. Listen, yeah, what I was telling you, wanted to tell you is that as I explain you, please listen to the explanation properly. And whenever I ask you to mark or underline or whatever I say, even the question answers, the assignments which I ask you to write, all those are those questions which are being already discussed during the explanation. But the problem is, some of you are so busy in your own world. I don't know what businesses or what office work do you do, you are indulging. You will not listen to the explanation, you will not go through the text, you will directly, during your clarification hours, even the simplest, now for example, this entire chapter is of resource, we have been doing resource, this resource, that resource. But if I give you what is resource, the very direct message what you will tell me, sir, this answer I'm not able to find in the textbook, please sir, please give me. Yes, I share all the answers with you the next day, the following class, whatever is given the previous day, the questions, the assignment, all the answers are being shared. But that doesn't mean that, like, uh, class 8, but that doesn't mean that, you want me to spoon feed you. Class 8 students, right? Very soon, within the next couple of few months, next session, you'll be appearing your board examinations, class 9. If you do this, I'll stop giving you answers. Not even a single answer I'll give. I'll just give you the questions. You have to frame it by yourself. Okay? I'll go through your answers. Whether it's right or wrong, I'll check it. But I'm from my end, you won't get any answers. Make this work. Don't get rust. Try to create your own answers, learn how to frame sentence. This will also help you to, this will improve your, what do you call, the skill of writing, the art of writing. I get to, during this clarification number, some of you directly you'll shoot me a message. That means, like you are ready with the gun, you're with the mobile phone. Like the moment it is time clarification period starts, without seeing the, you won't read the question also, I believe. Sir, I don't know the answer of these questions, all the questions for the day. Very good. And I'm sitting here, all the, you tell me even a single question, okay, which I gave you as an assignment and that wasn't discussed in the class, in this online class, in this explanation hours. Not even a single question you'll find which, without discussion, without explanation, I asked you to write. Or maybe something which is out of the textbook, out of your textual content, as you say that, this is out of the syllabus. You will not get this answer at the back of your exercise or at the key points. You have to read the text. In between the text, you have to pick the answers, you have to find out, frame it. So go through the text. Okay, now let me continue. Yeah, where am I? Yes, why is conservation such an important issue today? It's because, like, you see the population in simple term. I won't go by this terminologies of the book. Okay, let me give you in a simple term. The population. India is the second largest populated country in the world. I hope you know it. And very soon, who knows, we may even take over China, right? If this goes on, if you, we, I, we, all of us, if we are not bothered, if we are not, aware, or if we don't give it a thought that how to save our resources, how to conserve our resources, then very soon you see, because most of the acts, most of the things, most of the issues, the challenges which is faced by us, it is all is actually main men. We created those problems for us, those difficulties for us. Like the best example that they have given, that why do we need to conserve resource, it is because, see, the number of people on earth is increasing gradually day by day. It's, if you see the total population of the globe, just find out and let me know, I'll give you, it's a GK. Now again, don't tell me that, sir, this is not there in the book. What is the total population of the earth? Like India's population, I can tell you, it's somewhere around approximately 135 crore, not exactly, but 135 crore to 140 crore, something like that. Okay, because way back when I was studying, during those days, I used to study like 125, 130 crore, So now it's obviously 135 to 140 crore it would be. So see, 130, 135 or 140 crore, whatever it is, the population of our country, but the size of our country is not increasing. Number of people are increasing, but the border. Okay, today, for example, say India. If India is this much or Assam is this much, if the number of people comes, steps in more in Assam or India, that doesn't mean that Assam will start increasing or India will start increasing the border, the territory. No, the area would remain that much. So, which means the resources, the natural resources that we have, those are limited. Okay, yes, there are some of the natural resources which can be renewed, as we have already seen. Okay, but even even to renew, it takes a long time to for the nature to renew its. It has got its own process for that particular resources to become matured so that we can be utilized by us. It takes long time. So that you can also term it as a, like some of the, like, as I gave you the example, fuel and all. Those are non even, yes, fuel we get, it gets get generated from the earth. It's a natural resource, fine, but it takes millions of years, right? And once it gets extinguished, it's very difficult to to regenerate it again. And I don't think that you or I am going to survive for millions of years. So that is the reason, this is the most important reason, that why conservation of resources is very important. All right, like see, another example, if I want to give you this, what do you call, the vehicles that we use, right? Yeah, you may think that why sir is saying it's my vehicle, my car. I fill it up the gas. Gas means petrol. Okay, I fill it up with my own money. What's wrong with sir? Yes, but if you're going to your, I mean, just to your neighbor's place or to a shop in your locality, you don't have to go by your vehicle. You can walk and go. If you have cycle, well and good, which is good for your health as well. You know, just to go outside of your gate, or just the very two three houses next, if you have a relative or a neighbor or a friend you're visiting, and you take out your car, big car and scooty, what is that? Yeah, it's your car, you bought it, your money, not my money. Who am I to tell you, right? That's what we people, some of us, we have got the concept, the mentality. Why is he telling me? Fine, it's your, but we must have some basic knowledge that, well, yes, if I'm going to a long distance, it's raining, something, the weather condition is very bad, I can't, and I have to, fine, you can. But when it is, you already have a different option, it's convenient, it's better to walk and go, it's better to go for a cycling, go, so that what is happening, you're saving. Now you will think that if I save the fuel, will the entire fuel of the earth will get saved? Forget about the entire world. Why don't you start with your own self? Because today, if you start, I start, like gradually what will happen, 1 2 3, it will go multiplying from 1 to 2%, 2 to 4%, 4 to 8, 16, 30, and then see the resources. Everybody, if we come with the same this mindset, this mentality, let us start, let us begin with us. Forget about the world, forget about what he is doing, she is doing. Let us not poke our nose into someone else's matter, into someone else's. Let us look into our life. Let me be good, let me be good. Ultimately, when you become good, automatically it all starts with you, with each one of us. Otherwise, if I also think he is not doing, what will I do? If I, even if I save, how much will I be able to save? He has done, let me also do. She has done. Like, if everybody thinks that he, she, finish. Nobody, this world will very soon come to an end. There won't be any resources. We'll go back to those this is what, history? No, what is this? Geography, right? Yeah, we'll go back to history, past, where we have to come with bullock cart, horses. Nice, that will be very good. Coming back, conservation. What is conservation? I've already explained you, but still let's go through the text. It can be defined as the protection of natural resources. Scientists first examine how and why natural resources are being depleted or degraded. Depleted means why it's getting, you can say, what is called, why it's getting over. Okay, why it's getting extinct, you can say. Some of the resources, they are on the verge of extinction. You see, very soon, these people, scientists and all, they are now, what is this called? Electronic vehicles. Yes, even here also we have in our locality electronic scooters. I have seen electronic scooters and all. Why very soon fuel gone? So some other alternate sources. So scientists, the very first thing is that they first try to find out that why is the resources getting over, and that is when, and then they find the ways to solve the problem. Like first of all, now scientists, they got to know that the fields are getting over, so they came out with another option. What? Electronic vehicle. Solar vehicles are also coming up. It's on the way, it's on the process. Okay, very soon. What are some of the ways in which natural resources are being affected? Human activities have been identified as one of the major primary cause. Underline, I told you, it's you, Me, we, we the humans, we all of us, who creates this problem for us. We say that this is this problem, that problem, this challenge. Who created the problem? It's we, us. And then we say that this problem, that problem. Same comes to resources. It is a human activity, that's the main first primary cause of this resources being getting depleted. There's another major cause of causes of degradation of environment. That's the air pollution. Now again, air pollution. How is the air getting populated? We, you, factories, in the middle of the in the middle of the places where human being exists, in the middle of this residential areas, you'll find factories. We have here nearby a locality. I don't have to give you much example. You're much more aware than me, right? Smart students. So another cause of degradations of environment are air pollution, clearing of forests. We have seen we have to construct malls, buildings. So cut down the trees, no problem, and then die for oxygen. Correct? Over extraction of mineral resources, overgrazing of pastures by farm animals, poaching of animals. So these are some of the reasons for what do you call the resources that is getting depleted, that is getting over. Okay, underline. If I ask you why mention some of the causes of resources or the degradation of environment, sir, I don't know. This is not in the book. You give me the answer. Correct? The various natural resources found on our planet are interrelated. They are connected. They have got a relation. So that is why if one part is affected, the other gets affected too. How? Let's see. If forests are cut down, it destroys the habitat of the wildlife, the reservoir of the oxygen, right? Once more, I'll say the reservoir of the oxygen. I hope you are getting it, smart students. If forests are cut down, it destroys the habitat of the wildlife, the reservoir of the oxygen, as well as the soil and other natural resources like wood. Yeah, with this, I remember one example. Yes, I came across a news. It was in the newspaper or some online article. This what you called even here also in our locality. This Guwahati only. Okay, the other side of the river. What is that? Leopard or cheetah in some of the schools recently. Few days back or a couple of weeks back, something I don't remember the date exactly. Let me come to the straight to the incident. That is what is important, not the date. So what happened is that in the news it was being that this wild animal, cheetah, leopard, something like that. It came out. It attacked human being. It attacked the people. These, that, so many things. And at times you see very often this news is you'll come. You don't have to go far. You don't have to travel in flight anywhere that go to abroad in forest area. The places where we are nearby. You see wild animal. They will say today this animal was spotted. Today that animal attacked this fellow. Array, it is we who have entered their houses. They did not enter our house. They did not come to our compound. They did not came to our premises or locality. It's we who have destroyed their houses and made our houses. So where will they go? You tell me. Definitely they will be here only. And we say that they came. They did not come. We came. That's what the book is saying. See, I'll read. These are not my line, books. If forests are cut down, it destroys the habitat of wildlife. What do you mean by habitat? The living area where they live. Okay, so when we cut down the forest, what happens? That means their houses, or the wildlife, the wild animals, that's called wildlife, their houses are being cut down. It's being destroyed. Where am I? Yeah. People dependent on the forest lose their livelihood. Another reason. See that how the because of forests, how do we get affected? There are many people whose own life, the entire livelihood, earning, family. Okay, if you see, if you go to the remote areas and all the villages, our what do you call the rural places and all, you'll see on the just near the what is it called at the borders, at the frontiers of the forest. Okay, you'll see many small villages, number of houses residing, number of people, few number of people. I'm not saying the large extent, but few number of people living out there, but they're also human beings, and their source of livelihood, their source of income, everything is dependent upon that forest. You talk about firewood, you talk about vegetables, you talk about fruits, you talk about medicines which we get from this what do you call from the nature. Okay, from various plants and all, from the herbs. So everything is dependent on means their entire life is connected to that forest. Now what will happen? Imagine if that forest is being cut down, or the forest is being like destroyed completely. Where will these people go? So definitely their whole life will be affected, their family, their children. That's what the book is saying. Next, similarly, when the air is polluted by one industry, it causes breathing problems among people over a large area. One industry, but people over a large area unable to breathe. Huh? This can also lead to what do you call respiratory diseases among them. That nowadays, especially this what do you call the food that we eat, the place that where we live, there are so many factors. I'm not saying that factories and all are not required. We That is also part and parcel of life. We need that. We need those things which are being produced in the factory, which are being manufactured. But the factories where it is being located, those factories can be shifted to a place where there is very less of human existence, or I would say better, where there is no human existence, which is on the like somewhere on the outskirts, from the outskirts of the city, or outskirts, or even now outskirts of the city does not mean that factories will go and start setting up their industry in villages. Does people does not live in villages? Are they not human being? They are, right? So that is what the book is saying. Now because of the factories, because what happens, air pollution, and we breathe the same air. Earlier days, you see your grandma. Yeah, another example, very good. With this we'll come to the end of this chapter with this example. Okay, so listen, your grandparents, grandma, grandpa, my grandparents, grandma, grandpa, you see, they were, when they were 70, 80, 90 and all, they were fit and fine. They didn't need any spectacles. They were able to hear. They didn't have to dye their hair. This, what do you call this, what is that called, man? I don't know the name. Bitumen, not bitumen. Bitumen is used for road. I don't know different colors, this black, yellow, red, whatever. So coming to the point, that black, yellow, forget it. Yeah. So your grandparents, my grandparents, 70, 75, 80, they were fit and fine. They could walk without spectacles. They can see, they can hear. Now 45, 50 maximum. What happens? This disease, that disease, my lungs is out, my kidneys there, this gone, that gone. What happened? You live in AC, you travel by car, you have all the modern facilities, but now it is small kids, they need spectacles, right? They need this hearing aid. Children, forget about old people, even children, because of this water, chemical resources, because of many a time I have seen children, students also, because of the waters and all the various iron and all, hairs, it turns into gray white. Class 6, 7, 8, 9 students' hair turns into gray white and all. So I hope you're understanding that why do we need to conserve, save resource. Okay, I won't give much example. If I keep on giving examples, there'll be like the numbers won't end. Okay, one after another. Anyways, so we have done up to where? We have done up to conservation of resources, and then we are left with just one more topic, that is resources and sustainable development, which we will finish up in the next class. Let me wind up here. Please go through the text. Listen properly. Some of you may not even come up to the end of the video. I don't know whether you listen or not. I believe and I hope that you do attend the class. It's for you, not for me. Okay, so read the textbook and listen whatever has been said, because most of the answers, out of 100, 90%, 90-95% of the assignments which I give you, the answers are already discussed. I already told you the answer. If you listen properly, you don't have to even read the text. Just by listening, you can write down the answer. Okay, so with this we'll end the chapter here. Stay at home. Okay, God bless you, and study well. Make use of this. Don't make it rest. Okay, see you then.